George Lynch is a massive name. Let's get that clear up front. We highlight underrated 80s bands, albums, and guitarists here, and frankly, anything falling within 10 feet of the dude is a bit of a stretch in that regard. But on the other hand, Dokken is cool, and I like George Lynch. So let's find a way to squeeze their 80s albums in here somehow. How about we highlight some of their lesser known tracks? Let's say anything under 1 million plays. I'm still doing it. I just won't pick the main ones. Yeah, let's call it the deepest cuts worth revisiting from a band and guitar player that really didn't need our help video. Lynch's technique is instantly recognizable. His glissando side-to-side violin-like vibrato, that deep but controlled whammy movement, abrupt phrasing breaks, trills, and these bursts of tight, repetitive, alternate-picked sequences. Looking at his background, George is part of what I call the Sunset Strip Shred Trio, or the SST for short. George, Warren DeMartini, and Jake E. Lee. All three came up through the same late 70s, early 80s-ish scene, bouncing between huge clubs like Gazzari's and the Whiskey A Go-Go. George, initially with The Boys and Exciter, Jake with Teaser, Rough Cut, and Mickey Rat, and then Warren later inheriting that Rat gig. They were pals, rivals, and occasional collaborators, all jamming within the same few blocks, often borrowing the same amps, rehearsal spaces, and occasionally each other's bandmates and playing techniques. I touched on their connection in my previous Jake and Warren deep dives. George has said that Jake's stage presence and confidence pushed him early on, and Warren, whom Lynch referred to as the Kid early on, sat down with him to help transcribe all of Ozzy's guitar parts before an audition. On that note, George was actually considered for Ozzy's band a few times, though he's since cleared up the myth that he ever auditioned before Randy Rhoads. The real audition came after Randy's passing, and according to George, he didn't get the gig because his hair was too short. Because for this kind of thing in the 80s, anything above the shoulders was like akin to being active duty military. Along with Sharon Osbourne not apparently vibing with his green and black guitar for some reason. But funny enough, after Randy got the gig, he was so impressed by George's playing that he later recommended him to take over his teaching spot at Newsonia, the music school run by Randy's mom. Pretty solid consolation prize if you ask me. Now, not everything George did was about flash. He had this uncanny ability to structure songs around riffs that were actually memorable, not just technical exercises. The kind of riffs you can hum, not just admire, aka Ed Van Halen's mission statement. So let's make that a point with just a handful of the lesser recognized riffs hiding across Dokken's 80s catalog. Be honest, you didn't just click for the riffs, you came for the lead work. George's sense of melody and phrasing is something that really sets him apart. So let's take a look at a couple that deserve more love than they get. everyone knows you can't talk George Lynch without mentioning that tone, so let's toss it under the microscope. He used a custom-built partscaster in his early LA days, loaded with a single Seymour Duncan, likely an early JB or custom-wound prototype, and finished in that iconic tiger stripe pattern. It's a story straight out of the Van Halen playbook, reportedly pieced together from the Charvel scrap pile, weighing in at a ridiculous 13 pounds. We get it, dude, you're jacked. And assembled parts that later ended up under Kramer's brand. At one point, it even allegedly got an ESP sticker slapped right on that same headstock. Confusing? Welcome to the 80s guitar scene. A couple years down the line, on that ESP note, he began his long-running relationship with the brand, which now offers a lineup of his signature models, each featuring the graphic-heavy finishes he became known for. I've linked my GoFundMe in the description so you can donate to the noble cause of me finally getting one of these. What I've actually linked below is his own site. He also runs Mr. Scary Guitars, his custom brand where he personally designs and hand-builds replicas of his models, including the famed Skull and Bones guitar. Onto amps and effects, a core element of Lynch's tone comes from his use of a 68 Plexi 50 watt during his Dokken era. Through there, he's worked through Soldano SLO 100s, a signature Randall Lynch box, a Diesel Herbert allegedly modified for less compression, as well as some Bogner heads. In the early days, he paired up his amp with an Echoplex to give him that little bit of extra color, just like EVH did, along with a Boss Chorus CE3 and a stereo setup to thicken up the sound a bit. He then worked with Morley to develop his own AB box, which lets him seamlessly swap between amps and even blend the output in various ways to create that massive layered tone. Post-Dokken, Lynch worked with Keeley to cook up the Time Machine Boost, which he'd used both as a front-end boost and a level shaper. Think switching from rhythm to lead while retaining that clarity. He also has his own Seymour Duncan Screamin' Demon signature pickup, which takes the airiness of an old-school PAF pickup, but incorporates a bit more growl and sizzle. Looking at a snapshot of George's legacy, he left Dokken in '89 to form Lynch Mob. Still active today, it's become his main vehicle for post-Dokken creativity. Lineups change frequently, but George's guitar always stays front and center. As far as collabs and solo work go, alright, brace yourself, this is going to be fast because George seemingly doesn't do downtime. Collabs with Tony McAlpine, and also pretty cool that Paul Gilbert's in that picture. If anyone knows where to get that crew neck Tony's wearing, please let me know. Michael Sweet from Stryper, which, if you're into, I have another whole deep dive on that group. The Lynch Pilsen Project, Microdot, Souls of We, writing Dream Warriors for the actual Nightmare on Elm Street Dream Warriors. And that's just the short list. He's also done solo work for charity specials like Hearing Aid, We Are Stars. Stay tuned for more from me on that one, by the way. Solo albums including Sacred Groove and We'll Play for Food, and on top of that, he keeps busy with interviews, tribute albums, live events, and guitar festivals. Yeah, that's probably as concise as I can make this mashed up origin story and sleeper hit video for now. So drop some of your favorite Dokken or George Lynch lore down below in the comments, and definitely subscribe if you want more 80s deep dives like this. There's a ton more out there on George, and I'd really love to give a closer look at his pre-Dokken work, solos, and collabs. So let me know if that's something you'd want to hear. See ya.